Alright guys, I'm back in the shop today. I'm not going to be working on the engine here. That's pretty much where I want it to be. I do need to clean like timing cover and things like that to be able to get this more fully presentable. I still need to do oil pan tap for the turbo drain. But what I'm going to be doing today in actuality is I'm going to be cutting out the battery tray and removing cruise control, pretty much anything in here I don't need. Get it ready to be able to repaint the engine bay. I also have some heat shielding and a bunch of other things I need to upgrade, like shifter cable bushings and a couple things all in there. I'm going to get started on that, and also going to upgrade the shifter linkage that's on the transmission here and replace the transmission input shaft seal, put in the new throwout bearing, and put in the rubber boot that goes for the clutch fork there. Do anything to this today, I'll probably mount up the turbo manifold and maybe even try to figure out what bolts actually go through into the turbo manifold as well. I'll be also going to get ready to mount this water to air intercooler and figure out where I want to run pump and get everything like that all taken care of course. Remember, in one of the last videos I got everything out of the trunk and did all that, took care of all that, and I just have to kind of focus on everything in the engine bay right now so I can get the engine dropped in, then focus on wiring. I'm going to get started by moving this engine out of the way, rolling the car forward so I have a little bit more light, get my safety squints on, and get start cutting. Alright, so now I've made all this room back here to be able to easily get in and out of the engine bay and really start messing around with everything. So my plan now is to drop the engine in through the top because it's going to be a lot more room. I won't have that in the way, and I'm going to be able to just do everything like that. Drop the engine in, mount it up, leave the transmission off for a little bit, and then basically focus on wiring and where I'm going to put everything, and then put the transmission in. Mainly just really focus on getting everything fabricated properly. Our turbo's going to sit, everything in here, just to make sure it's all done nice, neat, and you know, it's something I can look at and enjoy. Alright, so having only removed the ignition coil and the cruise control actuator, everything there is just kind of cleaned up this engine bay pretty nice. I still have to remove, of course, the battery tray. I'm going to be removing this fuse box and probably relocating it in here, maybe even deleting that in general. But that I'm going to cross the bridge when I start actually wiring everything up. I do still have to remove that coolant line, all these different coolant hoses and everything to be able to put my new heat shield back here from DEI, put the new fuel filter in, and probably remove the charcoal canister, have it vent somewhere out here, basically just get rid of that though. Now since I am going to be creating a bit of sparks cutting this out, and there's a nice fuel rail down there, there is a chance, you know, fire, so fire extinguisher just in case. You never know what can happen. All right, now to help prevent fire even more, I put a blanket over the fuel rail just in case. If blanket catches fire, it's gonna be a hell of a lot easier than to put it out a fuel fire because there's nothing feeding it other than oxygen. So I'm gonna get to cutting on that, put my safety squints on. In actuality though, you should use safety glasses. Here we are about an hour and a half or so later. Got the battery tray cut out. Did clean this area up kind of a bit, and yeah, so this piece is left here because this is where the transmission mount goes onto. Now I still have to remove charcoal canister, install new fuel filter, remove this kind of firewall, heat protectant stuff. My brain isn't working right now. Also remove all these coolant hoses, and then once I get all those removed, I can remove the radiator, the condenser, remove these AC lines way down here, get that all taken care of, and then drop the fuel tank, and then I can really start getting in here, really deep cleaning the engine bay, and start painting as well. Alright, so I got fuse box disconnected. I was hoping there would be like connectors in the bottom of here to remove it from the rest of the body and from the part that goes into the trunk, but unfortunately it's just, you pop this bottom cover off and it's just a cluster of wires in there. Now, there is this coolant filler neck that runs all the way down here. Everything behind all these dust shields I've been taking off in here, all been pretty dusty. And I did get mostly everything off. I just have to remove this firewall heat shield, and then I'm probably going to re-pressure wash the engine bay again, to go around it with a brush, scrub out all the little cracks and crevices, get rid of any, pretty much any grease that may be in here, and then go from there. I'm still thinking about removing that fan, but yeah, I'm making quite good progress on this as we speak. Alright, I apologize if there is less filming in this, but I did get the firewall protection all ripped off. I had to cut it in multiple sections just to work it around everything else, like the fuel filler neck and everything around there. So what I'm going to do, I think right now, is I'm going to raise the vehicle up on jack stands, drop the fuel tank, remove the AC lines, and then once I do that, get everything all removed, back the vehicle back out, get the pressure washer, spray the engine bay out really good. And then also the undercarriage where the fuel tank sits, also clean the fuel tank, at least the outside of it, not the inside. And then I should be able to go back together because I want everything on this vehicle to just be clean, clean, clean. Just want to do an overall just really clean build with it. Not only clean as in physically, but actually like not dirty clean. So that's where I'm gonna head with this next. So with that in mind, I'm gonna roll this back so I can raise it up, just so I can get closer to the front, remove AC condenser and everything like that. Alright, so I was just messing around up here, and I was like, oh, you know, I have a horn upgrade that I just picked up for this, so maybe I'll swap that out, of course, while I'm up here, but I have to get the condenser out. I didn't realize there was a second horn here, so I'm gonna probably do 2 high-tone horns. The horn I picked up is from the new dealership I'm working at. It's from a vehicle that just came out called the Ineos Grenadier. And you have a toot horn, which is, you know, kind of quiet. And then they have this obnoxious high tone horn that I'm like, that is obnoxiously freaking loud. And I'm like, I'm throwing that on the MR2 because this is a small ass car. And the louder the horn, easier people are gonna see you. I should say hear you, but you know, I mean, you see with your eyes. That's why you turn music down when you're looking for addresses or houses. That just had to change because I didn't realize that that heat shielding stuff I took off the firewall in there had a bunch of fiberglass in it, and so I am very itchy right now. All right, it's amazing to me that this radiator was even working. Like, that it even had flow going through it, and that this thing didn't have any overheating issues. Like, I am surprised with that. But I have a new radiator for this. All right, now about 45 minutes, an hour later, all of the AC lines are out except for the lines that go to the evaporator core. This was one that came all the way to the condenser from the evaporator core. I had to cut it off at the body because, of course, I'm not going to pull the dash to remove the evaporator core. If I do ever remove the dash, I'll definitely do it. But at this point, not worried about it. The compressor already off the engine over there. And the AC didn't work anyway. The compressor didn't work. System was charged. Compressor just wouldn't kick on for some reason. Probably a bad clutch. Don't know, but I did have to cut extra lines off these just because of the shape of them. I couldn't pull them out from under the vehicle. So those are out. All right, I'm actually going to end the video here. I'm going to drop the fuel tank a different day. I'm going to take a break. I've done quite a bit in this video, cutting out that battery tray, moving all the AC lines, just doing a lot of running around, and making a ton of progress, which I'm very happy with. So I'm hoping I should be able to get this thing running in the next like month or two. This is obviously a very long project, and I thank each and every single one of you that are subscribed, supporting the channel, watching all my videos, and I'm just following along for the build because it's very fun to be able to do this and really get back into it, especially now that it's not freezing outside. I can really get back into it. The next video, I will be probably installing the new radiator, removing fuel tank, maybe install the new horns as well. I'm probably also going to really deep clean the engine bay. And once I get that all taken care of, I'm gonna roll the vehicle back in here, or remove all the wheels, and pull the rear control arms out so I can put the polyurethane bushings in those, put the front steering rack polyurethane bushings on as well, and then potentially buy new wheels for this, if not the brake setup that I want. Brakes I want for this are from Techno Toy Tuning. They're a 4-pot front from Willwood, 4-pot rear from Willwood as well. Problem is it gets rid of the parking brake, which I'm not too terribly worried about at this point. I just want to have all the stopping power in this vehicle and just make it really fun to drive. But that's where I'm going to end this video right now. I hope you guys follow along. And just remember, don't quit on a body that won't quit.